Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Eduard. It's a Profipack kit which features A6M2 type 21 in a 1/48 scale obviously, and as you can guess, this kit is based on the new plastic from Czech brand. And the first release, it was a limited edition. Today we have a Profipack which should be a bit more accessible for let's say not that demanding modelers, and we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. So we will start with the box art first, because box art is really beautiful here, and note that you can buy it as a separate poster as Eduard, so that's really cool because it might be a good thing to place in your cabinet maybe. And box size is standard for such type of kits from Eduard. Here you can see comparison with my hand. And on the side here we have some information about the manufacturer and also some safety advices. By the way, kit number is 82-112, and on the opposite side you can see 5 marking options which are included here. So you can notice that these are not only the typical light colored aircraft, we also have some camouflaged and green aircraft. And as far as I remember, that's something what was not in the original Tora, because the limited edition was more focused on the Pearl Harbor, as you remember. So this is a top opening box, and here is what we have inside. And all frames are separated into several bags as far as I can see. Clear spruce separately and gray plastic spruce are in one plastic bag. So first of all, of course, I'll open clear spruce because it was on the top, so it should be easier to get. And here we have separate canopy parts, and that's something I would say not that surprising in a 1/48 scale. So molding quality seems to be really nice. You can see it with your own eyes here. Maybe I'll open the lenses so that it will be brighter. But we can open the canopy on your aircraft, and in 1/48 scale this is a must-have in my opinion, especially here in a Profipack where we can upgrade cockpit with the PE parts which are supplied in the original package. So that's why these clear parts will be handy. And of course we also have pre-cut masks. We will check them a bit later in the video review, so you will be able to cover these clear parts and get the nice paintwork without any unnecessary let's say work or time wasting. Next, we start with gray plastic spruce. So here we have, I would say, several interesting things. First, I suggest we start with this frame which is dedicated to wing parts. I will zoom out a bit. So here we have quite a typical design, but note that flaps are pre-molded. In case you would like to drop them, you will have to get a separate PE set, and we have a review. Actually, this is not like a fully PE set, it's actually Brassine and PE, but you can check it on our YouTube channel as well. External features, they look quite nice, so if I zoom in, you can see that we have recessed panel lines and rivets in all necessary spots. And of course, attachment points, they are quite thin, so it won't be difficult to separate these parts of the frame. We also have some features for the main wheel wells, and also some guiding elements which will help you for alignment of these parts, because they are quite large. I mean, in 1/48 scale, this aircraft will have a noticeable wingspan. Here you can see comparison with my hand. And I think this is something what you cannot avoid with a Zero, no matter which scale you pick, because it had such wingspan, let's say. Next, we continue with the fuselage halves. So both are molded together with tail fin, but with separate rudder. Of course, cowling should be assembled separately. We also have a special template for the assembly of cowling, because here, for example, you can see the front ring, and here we have side panels. And if I zoom in, you can see that we have separate tail wings which should be assembled out of 2 halves, and external features on the fuselage are pretty much the same as what we saw on the wing parts. Here we continue with cowling parts, separate rudder, and another fuselage half, and of course this template for the assembly. And if I flip it over, inside there are not that many features in the cockpit area, but do not be worried about this, because it will be actually fixed with help of separate PE parts and separate plastic parts as well. By the way, I'll try to increase the ISO maybe so that it will be better visible for you. Okay, so next, just give me a second to place this sprue aside. So next we continue with the frame, which is dedicated to mix of various elements, and what I really like about this kit is that we have a really detailed engine about out of the box, not about the box, and the same is related to the cockpit. So even if you would not get PE parts, it still should be nice, so I can say that even weekend edition will be cool. So here you can take a closer look, a lot of small elements which will have to be installed in the cockpit area, and some thin parts will require due care. By the way, these machine guns, they can be also upgraded. As far as I remember, there will be some resin upgrades available, so the same is related to the engine. So in case you would like to have a better engine features, you can just get the resin set. And of course cockpit can be also upgraded with this, let's say, with this approach, but it will require some extra spending, so be ready for that. And of course it won't be cheap, but the final result will be worth it in my opinion, especially in this scale. Next we continue with the last gray plastic spruce. So here we have external equipment such as fuel tank, also we have landing gear panels, I can see propeller hub, propeller, one-piece propeller, landing gear leg, wheels, and of course you can replace wheels with the resin parts if you would like to, but it's up to you because again it requires a separate investment from you, let's say. Next we continue with the mask sheet. So masks are pre-cut, and this is a typical product for Eduard, so there is nothing surprising if you already seen such thing, but it's really handy thing, so that's why I really like it. Here you can take a closer look, and of course they're ready to be used because they're pre-cut. Next we continue with PE fret. So there is only one PE fret which is pre-painted, and here some modelers, they enjoy this procedure. You will have to pick the right color shade for the cockpit parts. I mean, you can avoid going for perfection, just do the shade you would like to, but in the perfect case you have to pick the right color for matching the PE parts. Next we continue with a separate plastic bag for decals. So I'm opening it right now. There are two decals sheets. I'm going to show you the big one first. So here we have decals for 5 marking options. Maybe I'll close the lenses so that it won't be that bright. And you can also notice that we have decals for the cockpit, but of course you don't have to use them because you have really nice PE out of the box, so it's really strange to use decals instead of PE parts. And next we continue with the stencils. So these ones are provided on small decals sheet, also quite nice printing quality. They should be easy to apply, and as you can see, printing quality is really great. Even in the tiny symbols it looks distinguishable and should be readable on the aircraft. Next we continue with assembly manual. So this one comes as a standard Eduard brochure. I should zoom out a bit, and here you can see it. It has the history note on the first page. Next we continue with the parts map, colors chart, and assembly process starts with the cockpit walls. As you can see, a lot of parts to be added, including PE parts, so be ready for that. Next we continue with the rear bulkhead, pilot seat, and some control elements. We have also instrument panel, several options because we have decals, or you use PE parts. Then you join fuselage halves together, install the cockpit, assemble the wing, install the wing mechanization. Here we continue with the tail fairings, engine assembly. Also you assemble the bombs which will be fixed on the aircraft. Here you can see how the cowling is assembled, so this is actually the template for the cowling assembly. And then we continue with landing gear system. So here do not forget that you can upgrade it with the separate bracing parts. And of course check the alignment of the landing gear legs, even though here we have quite nice design which should protect you from some misalignment. Next we continue with more armament under wings. As you can see, there is a choice to install the under fuselage fuel tank as well. And here we install target sight canopy parts. And note that Canopy also features PE elements, which is really nice because this handle is not copied in some plastic kits. You need to use PE parts in order to copy it. And of course you will have to use slightly different parts in case you would like to copy the open cockpit. Next we continue with the mask guide. So here you can see masks for landing gear wheels, for position lights, and for the canopy as well. Next we have first marking option. It comes from December 7th, 1941. This is a white covered aircraft, or light covered, actually gray if we are more precise. Next we see aircraft from August 1942, another one from April 1943. As you can see, this one is already camouflaged a bit. And then we have two green aircraft. These ones are coming from 1944, April and May. And of course on the last page we have a stenciling guide, but I can see that we have, I would say, errata which a bit different, or should fix some errors, because as you can see here we have so it's some slight differences for the Nakajima built aircraft. It's a marking CDE, so definitely pay attention to this because it will be quite important in case you would like to be precise with your build. Nevertheless, all the items and the kit itself should be already available, so you can get it on official Eduard website. In my opinion, this is a really great kit for modelers who would like to build a Japanese aircraft in 1/48 scale together with all necessary bonuses out of the box. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a release. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!